one? Choose which one. 14. Okay. Alright, for 14, we are solving this for h. Pi, r squared, and h are all multiplying together. So to get rid of pi and r squared, we would divide. All at the same time, pi r squared. So B would be that answer. Now we can do 15 also because that one was simple. If we're solving 15 for A, we would first get rid of 4B by subtracting. We have W minus 4B equals 7A. And then we would divide everything by 7. So that's C. The difference between B and C is only the W is being divided by 7, whereas in C everything is being divided by 7 and everything would need to be divided by 7. Unless it could be simplified. That would be the only case where we would have maybe a fraction and then a whole number. Other questions? 16, okay. So for 16, the larger of two numbers is 15 more than 3 times the smaller number. Larger is 15 more than 3 times the smaller. If the sum of the two numbers is 63, find the numbers. So I'm going to let L be the larger. And S be the smaller, if this would let me run. So the first part is talking about the larger. The larger of the two numbers is. So I can say sum L equals 15 more than 3 times the smaller number. The more than I'm adding, so 15 plus 3 times, I'm going to multiply 3 and S. And that's my equation for the larger. Then the sum of, I'm adding the two together. So if I were to add L plus S, I would get 63. And this is where you take the equation that you have for L, put it back in for this L. So that would look like 15 plus 3S for L plus the original S equals 63. And then we can start to combine like terms. So add 3S and S to get 4S. And get rid of 15. What is that? 63 minus 15. 43. And divide both sides by 4. So that S is 12. But because we had to find the numbers, we have to go back and find L. So we found S. To find L, you can do a couple different things. Either put this in for this S, or put this in for this S. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to put it in here, but if you want to put it in there, that's also fine. So that L is what number? Add that number. How many did you get? 31. Thank you. Questions on that or other questions in the review? Don't worry about the consecutive numbers because you won't see that. Perimeter problems and larger things like that, yes, not the consecutive problems. Maddie.
Hold on, let me find it. Oh wait, did you say that we're not gonna have like the
Consecutive. We're not going to have consecutive, so not 18.
Can we go over 17?
Sure. So in 17, the length of a rectangle is 5 inches less than twice its width. If the rectangle has a perimeter of 80 inches, find the length and width. Or it might say find the dimensions to mean find the length and width. Where in this case, L is already length, W is already width. So just like that first, this other example, L is going to be that first sentence. 5 inches less than, that's really subtraction, but this is going to go at the end. So twice its width, 2W, minus 5, to get our length equation. The equation for your perimeter is P equals 2L plus 2W. And then as we did before, we can take that equation and put it in for L and then start this off. So use parentheses and replace P with 80. So replace P with 80, put that equation for L in for L. Start to solve this like a normal problem. Distribute the two. So we get 80 equals 4W minus 10 plus 2W. Combine your like terms. Do exactly what it says. 4 plus 2. Get rid of 10 by adding it to the other side. And divide both sides by 6. What is W? 15 what? Inches. So we didn't have a label in that one because they were just talking about numbers in general, but this one, because it's talking about length and width in inches, we have to label them as such. Then we have to go back and find our length by doing the same thing. So you could put this in for L and then figure that out. I'm sorry, for W. Or put that in here. I'm just going to put that in here. The L is 30 minus 5 or 25 inches. Questions on that or other questions? So that's our absolute value. Do we have anything outside of the absolute value bars that we need to isolate? No. So we can skip that part because it's already isolated. Drop this. Set the inside equal to a positive 13 and a negative 13. Solve both equations. Get rid of 5. And then instead of dividing both sides by the fraction, multiply both sides by the reciprocal. Flip it, multiply by 2 to both equations. 16 and negative 36. And you would list that in your solution set, least to greatest.
Yes. Yes. Other questions?
If you have another question while I'm talking, we will go over that one.
But I'll explain how the quiz is going to work. So, reminder that the quiz, like the test, is part no calculator, part calculator. You're going to start with the no calculator first, so I'm going to have you put them back in a second. You're going to work on the no calculator part, and then after you finish, you'll turn that in, and then I'll give you the calculator part, then you can grab your calculator. The quiz is collaborative, so you guys can work with each other. But you cannot use your notes, and you cannot use me. You can ask me clarifying questions, and that's it. Okay. Any questions on how the quiz is going to work? Do we have any other last-minute review questions? Okay. Also, while you're working together, this is not just copying down someone else's answers. This is talking through how did you get this. Otherwise, I'm just going to take your quiz. Okay, clear off your desk and go put your calculators back.